If you've never edited a video in DaVinci Resolve before, or maybe you've tried and you're not quite sure where to go, this video is going to be perfect for you. This beginner's guide to editing in DaVinci Resolve is going to get you up and running very quickly. Let's get started. How to create a new project in DaVinci Resolve. Open up DaVinci Resolve. You can create a new project at the root level, or you can right click anywhere in here and create a new folder. And then double click on that folder and create the project there. Or you can do it at the root level. Come down to the bottom here and click New Project. Give the project a name. We'll call this Getting Started with DaVinci Resolve 20 Demo. Now in older versions of DaVinci Resolve, you didn't used to have this media location bar. DaVinci Resolve 20 can actually create new media with its various new features. That's why you need to select a media location where these new files that get created will be stored. I highly recommend you click Change Location and then choose a folder where you want these newly generated files to be stored. You can call this anything you like. I'm going to call this DaVinci Resolve Media. Click on it and then choose Select Folder and then choose Create to create your new DaVinci Resolve 20 project. This is how to import video files into DaVinci Resolve 20. Once you've opened up DaVinci Resolve, you can either be on the media page at the bottom, the cut page, or the edit page. The easiest way is to just drag your video files into the media pool. If you don't see the media pool, you can click here to turn the media pool on. Open up File Explorer or Finder on your operating system and navigate to the folder that contains your video files. Then you can drag one or more video files over onto DaVinci Resolve and drop them into this media pool area. To remove clips, highlight them and press backspace. You can also drag an entire folder containing multiple media clips. To do that, instead of dragging a file, drag the entire folder onto the media pool area. If you come to the media page at the bottom, notice we have this master here. This is the root of all of your media in your project. Drag an entire folder on top of this master section, and now we have all of the media files contained in that folder under this footage bin. A bin is like a folder to organize things in DaVinci Resolve. Come back to the edit page, click this button here to open up the sidebar, and now you have a footage folder. The great thing about dragging a folder into DaVinci Resolve is that if you were to add a new video file, let's just duplicate this one and we'll rename it This is New. You can come back to DaVinci Resolve, right click on the folder or the bin, come down here and choose Resync Media Files. Click this and now we've got our new thisisnew.mp4 automatically updated and added to this bin. This is how to create a new timeline in DaVinci Resolve 20. On the cut page or on the edit page, if the media pool isn't open, click Media Pool. If you have multiple bins, choose the bin that you want to create the timeline in, and then right click, come up to Timelines and choose Create New Timeline. There's quite a few options you can change here, but we're not going to go into them in this beginner's video. Choose a timeline name. We'll call this new timeline DaVinci Resolve for Beginners and then hit Create. Over in the media pool here, this is our new timeline, DR for Beginners. And down here is the timeline that we can add our new clips to start to create our video edit. If you already have video files in DaVinci Resolve, you can create a timeline from them. In this footage folder, we've got a number of video files. You can select one video file, or you can select multiple video files by holding down Shift and selecting them. Right click on one or more video files and choose Create New Timeline using selected clips. Give the timeline a name and click Create. Here you can see the timeline that we just created called Demo, and down here are the media files. If I hit Shift Z to zoom out, we can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 media files added to this newly created timeline. One thing to be aware of is when you create a new timeline by default, it's going to create it using the default project settings. You can find these in the File menu, come down to Project Settings and open that. And there's a lot of stuff in here which don't have to worry about at the minute. The main thing is this timeline resolution. At the minute, this is set to 4K Ultra HD or UHD. If you've already created a timeline and you want to change the settings, right click on the timeline in the media pool, come over to Timelines and choose timeline settings. You can see all of these are grayed out, we can't change them. If you want to override the default project settings that we just saw, uncheck this box and then make some changes. So for example, we could change this to regular HD and not Ultra HD 4K. Click OK, and now our timeline will be 1920 by 1080. DaVinci Resolve 20 has 7 distinct workspaces that do different jobs. You can switch between them using the buttons at the bottom. We've got the media pool, which is all to do with media and video files and importing. We have the cut page, which is a stripped down or fast editing page. We have the traditional edit page where we can edit our videos as well. The fusion page is where we can perform special effects and create VFX. We have the color page, which is all to do with color grading and making our videos look nice. We have the Fairlight page. This is a page dedicated to audio, and there are some really powerful audio features here. And finally, the deliver page is where we can go and export our videos. In this video, we're going to be concentrating on the edit page. Click down here to switch back to it. I'm going to start off by turning off all of these things to get a basic view. The main area of the edit page at the bottom here is the timeline. The timeline contains all of your video clips and other things like text clips that are going to be exported in your video. Currently in this timeline, we've got 1 video file, 2 video files, 3 video files, 4 video files. This vertical red line is the timeline playhead, and if you click on this bit, hold down the mouse button and drag left and right, you can scroll through the timeline. The timeline also shows us the video tracks at the top and the audio tracks lower down. The timeline area is the main area where we perform all of the edits for our videos. To make the timeline bigger, drag this line up or down, and when you do that, you can see that this screen gets bigger and smaller. This screen is the main viewer for what's happening in the timeline, and you can see when I scroll through the timeline, this view changes. We can toggle windows on and off depending on what we want to do. Let's start off with the top right and click on this inspector. This is going to open up the inspector. The inspector shows us lots of properties for the currently selected clip in the timeline. You know if a clip's selected when it's got these red borders around it. You can scroll through all of the properties, and we have audio properties, and if you click here, we have the video properties. If you don't want to have to scroll as much to find these properties, you can click this button here, and it will expand it all the way down the side. For example, if we wanted to zoom in a bit on this clip, we can double click here and type in a number. You can see I've zoomed in on my face now. Or you can hold the left mouse button down and scroll left and right. To close the inspector, click the inspector button again. Over on the left, we've got the media pool. If we open this up, this is all to do with the media that we've got available to use in this project. For example, if we wanted to drag this screen MP4 video file onto the timeline, we can drag it down here, we can scroll across, and now we've got this new screen clip added to the timeline. Let's close the media pool. And now open effects. There's a lot of effects that come with DaVinci Resolve 20. For example, we've got this title section, and we can use this to add text to the top of our edit. If I zoom in, we've now got this text item. You can have multiple things open at the same time. If I click on media pool, we've now got the media pool at the top and the effects at the bottom. For some windows, you might see this icon, and this just collapses the sidebar. If I click on this, the sidebar disappears, just to give us more things on the screen. And the same down here. You can open up the sidebars by clicking these buttons again. We also have things like the keyframe editor. I'll be doing a deep dive into this in a future video, so subscribe if that's something you're interested in. Keyframes essentially let you change the properties of things over time. For example, to zoom in on a clip as the clip is playing. Click on it to close it, and click the media pool to close everything at the side again. The last thing we're going to look at is the mixer. If you click here to open up the mixer, you can make it bigger or smaller, and each of these things corresponds to how loud each audio track will play back. A DaVinci Resolve timeline contains audio tracks and video tracks. Let me show you how they work. Here we've got a timeline with multiple clips already on it. We've got this dividing line which we can actually move up and down to make more space for video or audio tracks. Everything above this line are video tracks, and everything below this line are audio tracks. Let's start with the video tracks. As their name suggests, video tracks play back video, but that's not all they do. Video tracks can also contain things such as text. Let's go and open up the effects, and we'll go and grab a simple text item to put over the top. I'm just dragging this down onto the timeline. We'll close the effects and zoom in so we can see this new text on the timeline. Let's make this text a bit bigger, and now you can see that we've got this text item, and if we wanted to, we could customize this and close the inspector. The first thing to be aware of with video tracks is that tracks higher up will play over the top of tracks lower down. At the moment, this text clip that we added is on top of this main video clip, and that's why you're seeing the text over the top of this video clip. If I were to hold down my mouse button on this video clip and then just use my mouse to drag it up 1 and then up 2, this video clip is now sitting above the text clip, and we no longer see the text clip because the video clip is higher above it. Let's just drag that back down, and once again we see the text. If you have multiple video tracks, let's go and grab this one. We'll drag this over the top of both the original video track and the text. We now no longer see the original video file or the text, because this video file is hiding it because it's higher up. I'm just going to hit Ctrl-Z to undo that. Audio tracks, on the other hand, will play at the same time. It doesn't matter which audio track is higher up or lower down in the audio tracks section. So for example, if I go and drag just the audio section of this screen recording by clicking here and dragging down to audio track 2, if we play this back now, we're going to hear both audio tracks play at the same time.
Let me show you two examples of this. The first one is if
you can rename video and audio tracks by clicking on this section and giving them any name you want, and the same with the audio. And you can rearrange the order of these tracks. The simplest way to do it is to right-click on a track and choose Move Track Up. This whole me talking track has now moved above the video 1 track, and because of that, again, we no longer see the text. To move the track down, right-click on it and choose Move Track Down. You can do the same thing with the audio tracks. Let's move me talking, and we'll choose Move Track Down, and it's now down here. But as we saw earlier, the ordering of audio tracks doesn't make a lot of difference because multiple audio tracks play at the same time. Anyway, you might just want to reorganize things to make it easier for you to understand. Normally, when you click on a clip, either the video part of the clip or the audio part of the clip, you can see that we've got a red box around both the audio part and the video part of this video file. That's because this button is lit up. This is the link button, and if I click to turn this off, if I now click on the video part, you can see that the audio part doesn't automatically get selected. And if I click on the audio part, the video part doesn't automatically get selected. What that means is I can now drag the video part around independently of the audio track. And the reason you're getting these little plus and negative red numbers is it's telling us that this file should have linked audio, and if I play this back, the lips will no longer match up to the sound of me talking. So let's drag it back there and turn linked selection back on. This is how to add video clips to your timeline in DaVinci Resolve. Once you've got a timeline created, open up the media pool, and if you've got any bins, choose the bin that contains the video clips you want to add to the timeline. Let's start with the simplest version, and that's to simply drag a clip down and onto the timeline. This is going to drag both the video part and the audio part of the video file, like commercials, YouTube, so they play back together. I'm just going to select that and hit backspace to remove it from the timeline. If you click this button here, it's going to open up two viewers. The viewer on the left corresponds to previewing things in the media pool, and the viewer on the right shows us what's happening under the playhead in the timeline. Double click on a video file in the media pool and it will open it up in this viewer. This viewer has its own little red playhead, and you can scroll through this video clip to see what's in it. To add this video clip to the timeline, you can left click and drag anywhere in the main area and add it to the timeline like this. But there's a few other options. options. If you hover over this area, you can see we've got two icons at the bottom. If you just want to add the video part of this clip, but not the audio, drag from this button down, and this time we only get the video file, but no audio file. And if you drag this icon down onto the timeline over an audio track, now we just get the audio file from this video and not the video itself. There's also some really useful ways to add clips to the timeline that can save you a lot of time. Let me show you how to use them. Let's start off by just dragging this first clip onto the timeline, and I'm going to hit Shift Z to zoom to fit everything on the screen. Let's double click on the second clip to open it up in the source viewer. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this area. I'm going to hold down the left mouse button and drag this across to the timeline viewer window. As soon as I do that, you can see we get all of these options pop out on the right hand side. We've got insert, overwrite, replace, fit to fill, place on top, append at end, and ripple overwrite. I've still got my left mouse button held down, and I can now drag this over one of these different types of options. Let's go and choose insert. I'm going to drag the clip over the top and let go of the left mouse button. And you can see now that this clip has been inserted where the playhead was. Before the playhead, we've got a tiny bit of the clip that was there, and after it, we've got the rest. Let me show you that again. We're going to move the playhead to where we want to insert the next part of the clip. We'll drag this across and choose insert, and watch what happens down here. It splits up the first part of the clip, then it inserts this part that we had up here, and then it continues playing the next part of the clip. Let me just undo that, and once again we'll drag across from the source viewer to the timeline viewer, and this time we'll choose overwrite. Overwrite also adds the clip to the timeline, but it's going to replace anything that was there before. So we no longer have another clip at the end here. Control Z to undo. The next one we can look at, which is really useful sometimes if you have extra B-roll that you're putting on top of an existing clip, is to drag and let go where it says place on top. Watch what happens down here in the timeline. This won't overwrite what was existing on this me talking track. It's added it over the top of that track. And the last one I'm going to show you, if we drag across, is this append at end. This is a really quick way to quickly add a clip to the end of the timeline without having to move the playhead. You can see the playhead is in the middle of this existing clip, but if I come down here and let go of the mouse button over append at end, it's just going to append that new clip after the existing clips on the timeline. There's also shortcuts for all of these edit types. Let's double click on this to open it in the source viewer. And you can find these shortcuts by coming up to the edit menu. And here we've got all of those options: insert, overwrite, replace, place on top, ripple, overwrite, fit to fill, and append to end of timeline, which is Shift F12. So with this clip open in the source viewer, if I hold down Shift and hit F12, watch what happens here. The clip gets very quickly appended to the end of the existing timeline. This is how you add just part of a clip to a timeline in DaVinci Resolve. Click this button here to open up the source and timeline view. Click here to open up the media pool and double click on the clip you want to add. You can scroll through the clip using this timeline in the source viewer. If you just wanted to add a part of the clip from about here to here, position this red playhead at the start of where you want to add the clip and press I on the keyboard. Watch what happens here. This little grey icon has moved to that position where the playhead was, and if you want to, you can adjust this. This is the in point, and this is going to choose where we want to add a sub part of this video clip to the timeline. Drag the red playhead to the part that you want to add at the end and hit O to add an out point. Now only this section of the clip in grey will be added to the timeline, and you can use any one of the methods to add this to the timeline, such as just dragging it down from here to the timeline. And now we've only got that section that we highlighted with the in and out points added to the timeline, and this can save a lot of time and stop you from having to edit things so much by dragging the ends and starts of clips. This is how to move around and resize the timeline in DaVinci Resolve. To see more audio tracks, drag this line and move it up. To see more video tracks, drag this line down. To see more video tracks at the top. To zoom in on the clips on the timeline, drag this slider to the right to zoom in, or drag it to the left to see more clips and zoom out of the timeline. You can also use Ctrl+ on the keyboard to zoom in and Ctrl and plus on the keyboard to do the same thing and zoom out. Hold down Alt on the keyboard and use the scroll wheel on your mouse to do the same thing. If you want to see all of the clips on the timeline, hold down Shift and press Z, and to go back, use Shift Z again. If you want to adjust the height of the audio and video tracks, click in this area here and drag this slider up and down to increase the height of the video tracks or make them smaller, and also increase the height of the audio tracks or make the audio tracks smaller. You can also hold down Shift and in this area down here, use the mouse wheel to alter the height of the audio tracks, or use Shift and the mouse wheel in this area here to increase the size of the video tracks or make them smaller. If you want to see more of the timeline and less of the viewers, drag up from here, or if you want to see bigger views and a smaller timeline section, drag this down. If you want to resize an individual track for the audio tracks, hover the mouse below the track, hold down the left mouse button and drag down or drag up to make just that individual track smaller or larger. And for video tracks, hover above the video track and drag up or down. To navigate around the timeline, you can just drag the playhead, or you can use the down arrow on the keyboard to go to the next edit point. Watch what happens when I press down. The playhead jumps to the next clip on the timeline. If I hit down again, it jumps to the start of the next clip, and if I hit down again, it jumps to the end, and down again, jumps to the end of that audio, and down again, jumps to the next video clip. If I press up on the keyboard, it does the opposite. Here's how to cut out mistakes in DaVinci Resolve or remove portions of a clip in the timeline. In this clip here, we've got a lot of space that we want to cut out. I'm going to use Ctrl+ on the keyboard to zoom in. I'm going to select the clip so it turns red and move the playhead where I want to start cutting things out. The first way to do this is to come over to the tools and click this button to activate the blade edit mode. If I hover over this clip now, we've got this razor blade icon, and anywhere I click now will cut this clip. So I can move across here and click the left mouse button, and now we've got that clip cut in half. If you're not in razor blade mode, say we click back to pointer mode, with the clip selected, instead use Control and then tap B on the keyboard, and this will create a cut wherever the playhead was. And now we've got this section cut out. If I hit backspace on the keyboard, it's going to delete that section. But it's left this hole. If I move the playhead, everything just goes black here because we've got this gap in the clips. So you could just left click and drag this across, close up that gap, but that can get quite inefficient. Just going to undo that. Instead, what you can do is select the clip, hold down Shift on the keyboard, and then tap backspace. Watch what happens down here when I do this. It deletes that clip and moves everything on the right across automatically to fill up that gap. An even quicker way, if I just undo all of those cuts, is to move the playhead where you want to start the cut. If you don't have a clip selected, select the clip, hit Ctrl B to add a cut, move the playhead to the end of the part you want to cut out, select this part of the clip, hold down Ctrl Shift and choose the left square bracket on the keyboard. This deletes the section before the playhead and closes up the gap. I've got loads of productivity tips coming on DaVinci Resolve to make editing even faster, so make sure you subscribe for those. This is how you make clips longer or shorter in DaVinci Resolve. Select the clip so it turns red, and then hover your mouse over the top right of the clip corner. You get this icon. Hold down the left mouse button and drag to the left to make the clip shorter from the right hand side, and hover your mouse button over the left. With this icon, hold down the left mouse button and drag to the right to trim the start of the clip. Now we've made this clip shorter. If you've got other clips in the timeline, such as these two clips here, instead you can switch over to the trim edit mode by clicking this button or hitting T on the keyboard. Once you've switched over to trim edit mode, hover over the clip, and now if I drag the top right corner of this first clip to the left, it's making this first clip shorter, but it's also filling up any gap that would have been created and automatically moving over the clip on the right. We can do the same thing for this clip on the right. Hover over the top left with trim edit mode on, and if I drag to the right, you can see down here it's actually making the start point of this clip shorter, and any clips after this, if you look down here, are also being automatically moved across so we don't get any gaps later on. And we can do the opposite thing, drag to the left to make the second clip longer. This is how you move clips around on the timeline in DaVinci Resolve 20. Make sure you've got the pointer mode selected by clicking here, and then just click a clip and drag it left and right. To move a clip up and down, drag it up, to move it to a higher video track, and you can see that the linked audio also moves to a new audio track. If you just want to move the video part but not the linked audio part, click this button here to disable linked selection mode. You can see it's no longer lit up. And now if I drag just the video part up, only the video part is moving up and down to a different track, or left and right. And if we click on the audio part, we can drag that up, down, left and right without automatically moving the video part, and click this button to re-enable that linked move mode. If I wanted to move this clip in the middle of these two clips, I'd have to select all of these, move them over, drag this clip over, and then select all of these and move them back again. Instead of that, let me just undo those changes. You can select this clip, hold down Shift and Control on the keyboard, and then tap full stop or period on the keyboard to move and shuffle that clip to the right, or Shift, Control and comma to shuffle that clip left along the timeline. This is how to copy and paste clips in DaVinci Resolve. Select the clip you want to copy and either come to the Edit menu and choose Copy, or just hit Ctrl+C on the keyboard. Move the playhead to where you want a copy of this clip and come up and choose Edit Paste, or simply hit Ctrl+V on the keyboard. I'm going to right click on this clip and give it a clip color so it makes it really clear about what's happening. I'm going to select this first clip, once again hit Ctrl+C on the keyboard to copy. This time I'm going to move the playhead between these two clips and either come to the Edit menu and choose Paste Insert, or use Ctrl, Shift and V to paste it and insert it between these existing two clips. We've now got a copy of that clip between the two existing clips. If you want to increase the size of a clip on the screen, or in other words, zoom into it, this is how you do it in DaVinci Resolve. First, select the clip. Next, open up the inspector at the top right and make sure you click on Video so you're altering the video properties. To make a clip larger, you can double click on the zoom section and type in a number. By default, it's going to replicate that in both the X and Y for the zoom, and now we've zoomed in. Alternatively, you can hold down your mouse button on either the X or the Y and drag left to make the clip appear smaller, or right to make it appear larger. To alter the position, you can hold down your left mouse button and drag left to move the picture to the left or right, and hold your mouse button down on the Y and drag left to move it down and right to move it up. Alternatively, you can click here and in this drop-down list choose Transform and click on it. This icon turns white and now you can just drag around the picture to position it wherever you want. With this overlay turned on, you can also use these handles to change the zoom. You can see by default this is changing the aspect ratio, but if you hold down Shift and drag these, it's going to keep the aspect ratio the same. How to copy settings to other clips in DaVinci Resolve. Make the changes to the first clip that you want. In this case, I'm going to open up the inspector. Let's say we want to zoom in and change the X and Y position. And then also, let's say we're going to crop out the left-hand side. We can now copy these changes to other clips, such as this one. Left click on the clip that you want to copy the settings from and hit Ctrl+C on the keyboard, or come up here and choose Copy. Next, select the clip that you want to paste these settings to, and either come up to the Edit menu and choose Paste Attributes, or the keyboard shortcut is Alt and V. This brings up this Paste Attributes window. DaVinci Resolve 20 introduced a nice update where it's only going to select these properties. You can see these tick marks that were copied from the previous clip. In the previous clip, we changed the zoom, we changed the position, and we changed the crop left. If you didn't want to paste the position change, you could uncheck that box. We'll leave it checked, and now we'll choose Apply. We can see now this second clip has the same zoom and position as this first clip. I'm going to undo that with Ctrl+Z. You can also paste the settings to multiple clips by selecting multiple clips, choosing Alt+V or using the menu, and clicking Apply. Now all of these selected clips have those settings changed. I'm going to hit Ctrl+Z to undo. To make things even quicker, if you select a clip and use Alt+V, you can also check this box here, Don't Show Until Next Copy. Click Apply. It's going to apply the changes, but now on future pasting of attributes with Alt+V, if I just tap Alt and hit V on the keyboard, it's going to paste those settings, but it's not going to pop up that dialog box every single time. Let's hit Alt-V here. It just applies those settings straight away. If you want to get that box to pop up, you need to copy again. So let's select this clip, use Ctrl-C, and now if I hit Alt-V, the box pops up again. Here's how to gradually zoom in on a clip while it's playing in DaVinci Resolve 20. First, move the playhead where you want the zoom in to start, and then click the clip. At the top right, open up the inspector, and we're going to be changing the zoom property. Click this little button here, it should turn red, and this means that this has now become a keyframe. A keyframe is a value for a specific setting at a specific point in time on the clip. So at the start of the clip, the zoom setting is set to 1. Now we can move the playhead to where we want the zoom to finish. Let's say we want it to finish here. We can click this button again to turn it red, but if we start changing this value because we've already set a keyframe for the zoom property, we can just change this, and as soon as we change it, this button turns red, telling us that we've got another keyframe. Now if I scroll through the timeline, we've got this zooming in effect, and when we get to that keyframe, it stops zooming in and stays where it is. If I play this back, you can see the zoom kind of starts straight away, and when the zoom stops about here, it just kind of stops. If you want to make things look a bit smoother, you can add easing to the keyframes, and the quickest way to do that is if you click this button, it will go to the previous keyframe. This is at the start of the clip. You can right click on this red dot and choose ease out. Click on this button to go to the last keyframe, right click on the red dot and choose ease in. And this is just going to smooth the overall zooming effect and make it look a bit more professional. There is one problem here though, and that's that once we've zoomed in, my face goes off the screen. You can fix this by changing these anchor point settings. The anchor point X setting, if you hold down your mouse button and drag left and right, this changes the horizontal position. And if you drag the Y value up and down, it changes the vertical position. So let's say something about there. Now, as we scroll through the clip, my face stays in the frame. If you want to reset all of that, you can come and click on individual properties like the zoom, or to reset everything in this transform section, click this little reset button here. We've no longer got these arrows, and we've no longer got any keyframes. How to add text to videos in DaVinci Resolve 20 for beginners. With your timeline open, come to the top and open effects. If this box is taking up too much space, you can click this button here to shrink it up, or if you want more space, you can click this button here to see more effects. If you don't see this sidebar, you can click this button here to open it, and then click on the titles section. There's a few different text tools that you can use, the simplest of which is this text tool. Drag this across and add it to a new video track or an empty video track. We can zoom in on this using Ctrl+ on the keyboard, and we've now got this text clip on the timeline. You can now close the effects. To change the text, come up to the top right and open the inspector, and then type the text that you want. To make the text bigger, alter the size, and you can also do things such as change the color, change the font. If you want to change the position, you can drag the Y property up and down like this, or change the X position by dragging the X property left and right, or you can come here, click this drop down and choose transform, and then drag the text around. Just bear in mind when you use this method, it's actually dragging this box around, so if you change the X and Y position now, it's not going to go past the edge of that box. Continue your learning journey by checking out this video next. I'm Jason Roberts, this is DaVinci Dojo. Please subscribe and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.